この美しい風景も、そばに誰もいない以上、私の不変を引き立たせるだけ。
明日もいい天気になるといいわね。
つれづれなるままにひくらし、すずりに向かいて。明日もいい天気になるといいわね。この美しい風景も、そばに誰もいない以上、私の不変を引き立たせるだけ。浮世の風景は幾千年も変わらないというのに、人の世とはこうも白露と泡のように儚い。
明日もいい天気になるといいわね。
つれづれなるままにひくらし、すずりに向かいて。
I'll be starting in just a sec. Just need to get my shit ready.
この美しい風景もそばに誰もいない以上、私の普遍を引き立たせるだけ。つれづれなるままにひくらし、すずりに向かいて。
So what I'll be doing first is I'll do some 2 weekly losses to get rid of my resin, and then I'll go into Imaginarium. I already started, but I'm kind of fucked at my point because I need. They're like, oh yeah, you really need freeze for this first boss. I'm like, fuck, I don't. I only have a few cryo and hydro, and I'm not sure how well I'm going to be doing. So, and I'm trying to like not use all my best characters first. So I'm like, I could try not using freeze, just trying to beat him with pure strength, but I'm not sure if that will work.
私の普遍を引き立たせるだけ。
明日もいい天気になるといいわね。
つれづれなるままにひくらし、すずりに向かいて。浮世の風景は幾千年も変わらないというのに、 人の世とは。
Darn, I don't want to be the host, so I dislike being the host because it's so much more restrictive. Let's see. That's the biggest problem when you get these people who are like, "Oh my God, someone arrived!" It's like, dude, did you realize that like their body appears before they can do shit? So it's like it's rarely ever a good instance to immediately go in. You should wait until they start moving, or until they summon their little guy. Let's see if she's dead. How annoying. Especially as you can see, the internet for the other people are really bad.
虫けらが神を見ようとはね。責任にこぶられよ。せよ。ほっ、これ加速するぞ。逃げようなんて思わないでよね。何をするんだい。悪用の力を思い知りなさい。さあ、働きなさい。もう広めだ。
Now, Irina should swap the healing immediately. Heal us. Because there's no other like purpose for her. She can't do anything else. Like, she can have her little guys attack, I guess, but like realistically, it's better to keep us all alive than to get some extra attacks in. Yeah, I was a little too fast and loose trying to go for the shot.
さあ働きなさい。
ここだよ。
そんなはず。
頭上に4件説明のよ経歴を晴らせ。ヒトラリーいるんだわ。こうよ。
逃げようなんて思わないでよね。
失うなんてな。
But yeah, it's Imaginarium has kind of gotten a little worse. I think it's gotten worse in the sense that it's challenging, which I dislike, and like challenging not in a good way, but in an annoying way. Because there's been multiple instances where it's like, hey, we've added this new, like, oh, we're gonna have this boss, and this boss is going to be, weak to only a certain type of reaction, or there's some specific reaction that we want you to do. Like we want this specific reaction, so we're gonna do this, and it's just like, because like I already did the first boss. I think the first boss I could just like blast through. The first boss I could blast through. I don't know if there was a mechanic for it, but the second one already was like, oh yeah, you want to freeze. And it's like, oh, awesome. Because like you really have to freeze. Because like he runs around all the time. It's running around all over the place. And only it runs around all over the place, and only when you freeze it does it actually like lay on the ground for a long period of time. So it's just like, oh shit, like. So like this is obviously. This is obviously designed for freeze. Like you have to be able to freeze it. Otherwise, you're gonna have to like attack it while it's floating in the air and doing all sorts of mechanics and stuff. So you have to be really, really fast to be able to blast through it super fucking quick. So yeah, it might be possible to blast through, but it's just like gonna be kind of annoying to do. Just my dodge. Try to dodge through it. There you go. So it's just like. It's just like Imaginarium there didn't used to have that. It was sure there were some annoying bosses, just like by nature of them being annoying. Like the Waynut was fucking annoying, but the Waynut is just annoying anyway, regardless of where it appears. So, like, but that was it. It was like, oh, okay, why does this boss, like, this boss just appearing alone is gonna suck, which is bad. I don't think you should ever really have a boss that just sucks, You shouldn't have a boss that like no one likes. It's annoying, wastes time. Like you should never have a boss that wastes time in a timed thing. You know? It's like, oh, if you only have 2 minutes to beat this boss, you shouldn't have a boss that's like untargetable for half of its time. Like it's just fucking bullshit. Like that is dog shit. Like you should just never do that. Ever. Like Mihoyo should just never have that be a boss. You want to put it in a place where there's unlimited time and you get the star if you beat it within 2 minutes? Fine. Like I don't give a shit if it's with unlimited time. Because like you know, if it really is unlimited, then that's good enough, right? Like
明日深夜
4 hours. Okay, so it's ways. Anyway, so it's like, because if it is truly unlimited time, you know, it is what it is. But the problem is that for the bosses, it's never unlimited. Some of the random mobs can be unlimited. Already gone. Almost halfway. So the question is, can I beat it with a proper freeze team? Or okay, I don't know how I did better before. I did even worse than my previous run. I don't know. Maybe I should just ignore freeze entirely and just try to blast power through it. Or I could do Milani.
ザブザブサメスンアタック。
管理します。
ソーランの憩い
霧となって散りなさい。
加速するよ。
Jesus Christ, that was barely successful. Yeah, if only I had one of the, both. I would need both of them, honestly. Okay. I don't have a freeze anyway for a Scuffy to actually be useful. Okay, so I have some Hydro. Do I have enough Pyro? DPS. I have to go Mia, I guess. And if I'm going to do Going Mia, then I guess Fiorino would be a better. Okay, so you. I guess I could try using Child in this. Actually, wait. Who am I? Who are the characters I have available? So if I did Child. Let's see, if I was going to use up Child, I need other water units. I was going to use Child. Could be Child. Could be Child Wriothesley. Could use Wriothesley, I guess. Wriothesley, Child. Toma as well. I don't want to use Toma because he's actually good. Let's see. Who's the next boss? Hydro and Advantage in the next. Oh, Hydro and Bow users. It's the Cucosaurus. And Cryo at the end. So let's save my. Okay, so it's that thing. So Hydra. Okay, so Hydro and Cryo at the battle. Advantage at the end. I should just choose characters I just don't give a shit about. But honestly, this wouldn't be super bad. Because as I said, I could use Child. Actually, yeah, this is a good one for Child anyway. Oh wait, that's why Toma's not good. Yeah, I don't need I don't need the shield shit. So I want to use her up this. I don't want to use Elaine up this early. I guess Toma's fine.
Yeah.
元気出してよ。
少しいいかい。行ってらっしゃい。さあ。ほら。それ。逃げるな。は？いや、炎の盾。助立ち参上。ほい。止水の矢。 少しいいかい。
ミュージックスタート。 準備できたかな。
火に気をつけろ。俺が守るよ。ほっいやはった始めよう。寒いから気をつけろよ。それ
みんなを守るからね。
逃げられるかな。はっやっとすいや炎の盾助出し参上。ほっふんはっはたいやいやふんはっいやうわいや火に気をつけろ。
元気出してよ。えいよっとはっえいほっえいほっとはっほっえいとみんな頑張ってね。ほっと
Okay, so they need... Shit, there's Hydro and Cryo, so she's not going to be super useful. But he's going to have fire on him, and if he's recommending higher... So I could get another companion. I could try for a better Hydro unit. Let's just do Vaporize, because I'll be Hydroing their thingy. Okay. Cool. How many more stuff? Just gotta go in here with this then. Okay, so Hydro is beneficial. Oh my god, that crit was amazing. Okay, so Cryo is going to have an advantage in the last boss. I need a Scoffier. Scoffier. So it'll be Skirk, Fiorina, Scoffier, I guess Yolande, so I don't really need her. Okay, so honestly I need to do this because I need Yeah.
気晴らしに出かけ
Okay,
まし
there
ょ
we
う
go. Now I don't need to worry about
その間に
it.
熟
So,
成
but then if the final one's going to be frozen, then I need this to start ramping up freeze. Okay, so just a bunch of random things. Or that. So, if I had a lot of freeze team replacements, actually, I guess I could. Actually, no. Let's do this, but we'll do it with Arlecchino. Okay, so yeah, so the final battle will be these two and those two. So, let's see. I need some sort of reactor, I guess. Shit, I can't use the land for that. I guess I can do this. Honestly, I don't really. I guess I could just heal instead. Oh wait, no, I can't heal. No, actually, never mind. I can't because she doesn't actually heal. She does this bond of life.
ウオパー火をつけ話ご安心を
権限ここより登る貫こうよっ
福育の語りはっと清掃を開始します
やっつぶたふやっ落ちるが権限
料理の時間だよ師匠のはご助力をはっはっはっ霧となって散りなさい管理しますはっ
せいとふやっはったふはっふ貫こう
ご安心を熱々でしょ清掃を開始します
やっやっとさっと月のように永遠なる
我に光
はっはっせいたはっ の芽が出るかしら。
食前
お披露目だ。光り輝くがいい。目も舌も満足させてあげる。低温調理。かかれ。終わりね。
And boom goes dynamite. So when you are prepared, no problem. And that's actually what fucked me over last month, is that I got to this boss, didn't have cryo, because I didn't know how required it would be. So I got to this boss, and I didn't have a freeze team at all. Like I just didn't have the characters for it. Like I might have had a cryo, I might have had a random like one cryo or hydro. But basically, I think I tried using like my Mavica team. I tried all my like main DPS teams, and I just got fucked. I got rolled over, like because he built up its flow, and it's like even if you could dodge the two beams, like he had two beams blasting out on either side. Even if you could dodge through this, first of all, it interrupts your flow of damage. Oh wow, that must have been the crit that killed the third boss in the last second. But even if you have like you're attacking, so if you dodge, you're going to interrupt your flow of attack. So it's just tough to avoid the two beams while still consistently doing damage. And then if his flow gauge fills up, then it's now 4 beams. There's no way in hell you can keep attacking while dodging 4 beams that rotate around the boss. Like, because you're dodging at every fucking second. You have to be like walking with the beams while attacking, and then dodging to try to get the most out of your attacks. It'd be just fucking insane. It's impossible. You just cannot do that. And so that's why it's like obviously bullshit. And so that's why that boss is just bad. Because it's just like, yeah, I think I did. Am I actually close? I was just 2 stars off, or is it? No, 3 stars, okay. Hello there, how's it going? Oh, 4 stars, okay, so I was nowhere near the 9 stars necessary for the potion. I think that's the kind of the problem, is that ever since they added that potion, for doing well in Imaginarium Theater, it seems like they upped the difficulty as well. Because like before, I had no problems getting 10 stars, 9 to 10 stars every single time. But now that they've added a reward for getting 9 stars, it's just like, that's when they seem to have added all these like really annoying bosses and challenging fights. And it didn't help that the last 2 elements, like the last 2 times, the elements they chose are, I'm fine. I'm walking on my treadmill, so if you're concerned of my breathlessness, it's because of that. I've been walking on this treadmill while doing Imaginarium Theater for the last 46 minutes, so... Well, not Imaginarium Theater, but... Yeah. So I'm just out of breath because of that. Which, yeah, makes sense. Yeah, but basically I do my dailies and stuff like that while I walk on my treadmill. It's a great way to keep in shape. And I'd be doing my dailies anyway. So it's like the thought is either I'd be just sitting on the couch doing my dailies, or I could do them while walking. And the cool thing about doing stuff like this, stuff that is easily repeatable. I'm definitely gonna get that. The good thing about doing all these incredibly repeatable things is that I guess I'll get some of these guys. I'll get some of the guys I already actually have. I used Toma, fuck it. Oh, I'll get his thing. I'm playing on my PlayStation, so I have a controller in my hand. So I have a treadmill in my living room, and I'm basically just watching the screen while I have a controller in my hand to do this shit. Oh, I have 4 keys. Okay, so next patch has to have new Envisioned Echoes, because that's basically how they've always done it. whenever whenever you have enough whenever you have enough keys to have unlocked everything, every character, that's when they introduce new Envisioned Echoes. Yeah. And the one added advantage, like, so you might think, oh, you could go out walking and stuff, or go in the gym and stuff like that too, and that's obviously fine. But the problem with walking outside is, one, like when you get tired, you have to walk back. So if you keep walking until you get exhausted, then you have to get back, and then there's elevation and shit like that. And even for the gym or the walking outside, it's just boring. It's boring as hell. Like, you can like bring a book, you can like listen to a book or something, or listen to like some sort of thing while you do it, but it's still pretty boring. And what I like about doing my dailies is it keeps your attention, right? Like, I didn't even know I've been doing this for 46 minutes until I looked at how long I've been streaming, and I saw that. So it's like, yeah, that time doing Imaginarium theater is incredibly distracting. And so before you know it, you may have walked longer than you initially intended. So like, I usually end up like walking for about an hour while I do all my dailies and shit, because there's some stuff that are kind of more boring, like, oh yeah, I gotta spend resin and all that shit. But then there's also the, like, I think that one's good one. It's a good one. So yeah, PS5. I played this on PS4. Obviously, I played this game since it came out, so that was 5 years ago. Obviously, before the PS5 even came out. So I did play this on PS4, and it was rough because PS4 obviously HDD, like loading into a zone took like 20 to 30 seconds. It was rough, especially because there was an event when the game first came out. Weirdly enough, they've never done this event since, but there was an event when the game first came out that was about delivering food. And you had to pick up food from the tavern down here in Mondstadt. Because, I mean, this came out when the game first came out, so there was only leeway in Mondstadt at that point. You had to pick up food from the tavern down here, and then you had to deliver it somewhere. And it was never somewhere close to a teleporter. It was always like, oh, okay, you picked it up from the restaurant here? Okay, well, now you have to deliver it to someone who's at the tip of this rock. Like, so, right here. You have to deliver it to someone right there. So you have to pick it up, teleport here, climb up this rock super quick, zip along here, and jump across the rock to get to the dude. Doable. But the problem is that the timer started the second you picked it up from her. And so you pick it up from her, you go in, you teleport, and there's still that 20 to 30 second load time for PlayStation, and the timer didn't stop while teleporting. So the timer was still ticking down. So I actually missed this one multiple times simply because the amount of time wasted for teleporting just fucked me over. And I eventually did it. Like, I had to min-max the route so I could be as efficient as possible, and I barely made it with like a second or two to go. It was, yeah, tough. They've never done an event like that since. I don't... and I imagine it's hard to say if it was bad for mobile, too, because mobile doesn't load all the, like, good assets and stuff. They load these, very rudimentary assets. So mobile might have not had a problem with that, because mobile technically is on SSDs. So SSD with reduced pixelated assets might have been able to be a little faster. But and that was just and that was all teleporting. So this is teleporting in to every single zone, teleporting into dungeons like this, any domain, took 20 to 30 seconds to get in. Same for, like, if you ever wanted to co-op. If you ever wanted to co-op a boss, which, I mean, to be fair, back in those days, the only co-opable boss was Child down in Leeway. This is the only one you could co-op at the time. But it was still like, oh, you want to go into their thing? Okay, 20 to 30 second zone in to their realm, 20 to 30 second zone into the fight. Yeah, it was rough. And then I got the PS5, and holy fuck, it made so much of a difference. You get the PS5, and you're like, oh, I want to go here. Okay. Boom, I'm here. 5 seconds, boom. Like, less than 5 seconds, like a few seconds, I instantly make it. I see. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the only issue I really had was just the load times. Load times were the only real problem I had. The game looked really nice. The game played well. It was just that initial load because it had to go to the HDD to get the assets. But then once the assets are in memory, then it's fine. And then the PS5 adds these cool effects like those clouds, those rolling clouds in the distance look very pretty. I don't think the PS4 has these. I think they said, yeah, we're just going to add some. See them moving. It's pretty cool. But yeah, PS5 is definitely super awesome. I mean, it's basically like a PC. If a PC with an SSD could do this as well, or for the load times at least. And then, so it's a bit. And I've had the PS5 for a while, but yeah, I remember how kind of rough it was. I mean, it wasn't like the worst. Like as I said, like the playing, it wasn't bad. It was the load times that were just the worst. And basically, after that event, I think there was like one other event that they were like, "Oh, actually, we're also going to do something like have a timer, and you can get yourself screwed if you don't have if you're not able to load quickly because the timer is still going while it's loading." I think there was like one other event, but it wasn't a cooking one. It wasn't the food delivery one, but it is a very nice place. Very pretty place. And then since then, I think I could have sworn I heard them say that they had changed the game so that it no longer so that it would actually pause during stuff like that. So like if you were teleporting, it would pause. But by that point, I think I already had a PS5, so I was like, oh, well, it's good that they're doing that. Like, that's good. But you know, by that point, I didn't need it. Okay, everything's full health, right? Cool. But yeah, like one thing. I have a few favorite characters. Like, I've been using Eula as my avatar forever. Same with the Ganyu friendship name card. So I'd say like if I had favorite characters, it would probably be them. In fact, this is the team I used for like exploration back in the day. So because I really like Eula because she's super hot, and then Ganyu. I've always really liked Ganyu. Ganyu's like super strong too. So like when I got Ganyu in that January, the first year of the game, her charge shot was like so fucking powerful. It just made so many other things super easy. And doing Dvalin once a week made it was ridiculously easy too. Like because you can actually beat Dvalin before he even lands. So basically, you can bring him down before he does any mechanics. Because Ganyu is broken. Actually, I usually use Ganyu. And I can use Ganyu against Child and okay, brought him down. Would have brought him down slightly faster if I had not missed my second shot. Whoops. My bad. So Ganyu really trivialized this fight. And this is like when this fight and Child were the only fights. Yeah. Yeah, for some reason her because you can use her charge shot to like break stuff too. like even rocks, you can break them. It still takes forever because it's still not a huge amount of breaking, but it does break them slightly. So it has some sort of like some break effect. Like cause you can like break Hilichurl shields with her too. Now again, it takes forever because it like just takes out a small chunk of the shield's health because of its durability or whatever. However they decide on that shit. But because of that, she can actually pop Dvalin early. So like these rocks, normally, as you can see, she almost destroyed them. Actually, no. Oh, never mind. You can see they are actually are they missing armor? Maybe not. No, I guess not. Yeah. Like over the years, I've spent money on it. I also like Jean. I really like Jean too. Jean's very pretty. Always like Jean. I really like the Envisioned Echoes that they've done because Jean gets an Envisioned Echo, and Ganyu now has an Envisioned Echo. And so I would say if I had to pick one character, it'd probably be Ganyu. I think Ganyu is my favorite. I just like her personality and appearance, and then of course now with her new skin, she looks even prettier. And then she also has her Envisioned Echo, which just looks so pretty as well. And the nice thing is it actually matches both skins, either her default skin or this one. Ningguang has a really cool skin, but the problem is, what's wrong one? Oh yeah, Ningguang's on this team. Ningguang is a really cool skin. Like her dress is very pretty like this, but it doesn't quite match her Envisioned Echo. Because her default skin is a brown and white and stuff, so the yellow ginkgo leaves match. So it doesn't really match on her new skin, which is unfortunate, but still, she still looks pretty like that. But yeah, I really like the Envisioned Echoes they've done. I hope they keep adding more. Well, I mean, they will. And supposedly, I don't remember hearing about it, but there has to be a new Envisioned. Oh yeah, and of course I really like Raiden's Envisioned Echo too. It looks very pretty. But there has to be new Envisioned Echoes because basically by the time they've done it so far that basically by the time you could unlock all Envisioned Echoes, that's the time they introduce new ones. So it's like, cool, you've unlocked all Envisioned Echoes. Cool, next patch, here's a new set of Envisioned Echoes to buy. That's basically how they did it for the most recent one, where now I keep 4 keys on me so that I can buy any new ones right away. Because like last time they introduced new Envisioned Echoes, it was Shenhe and Raiden. And I'm like, oh wow, I actually really like both these characters. So I was able to get them immediately because I had 4 keys. I could unlock Chi-Chi and Diluc right now, but then in the next patch, when they introduce 2 new characters, I would have to wait, well, I wouldn't have to wait too long because obviously the month resets, and so I'd be able to get 2 more keys. But what happens if both characters they add for the next patch are characters I want? Then I would have to immediately do Imaginarium Theater to get one of them, and then wait a month to get the second one. And I don't really care about either of these two, so I'm fine holding on to my keys, seeing who the next characters are going to be in the next patch, and either getting them or unlocking one or both of these. Although I doubt they'll introduce 2 new characters that I'll like less than these 2. Like, I don't like Diluc at all. Like, he's near the bottom of the people who I'd ever use an Envisioned Echo on. Chi-Chi, I'm fine with Chi-Chi. Like, I don't mind. I think her one looks nice. I just never use her. For Diluc, I also never use him ever. And I don't particularly like him. Chi-Chi, I don't care. Chi-Chi was really helpful. I lost my 50-50 and got Chi-Chi, near the beginning of the game, as per the meme. But, she was really, really useful for a new player. Because, otherwise, without Chi-Chi, your main healer was Barbara. And Barbara just sucked because her skill applies wet on whoever the active character is, so you'd constantly get frozen. Which really sucked. It really sucked to get frozen. So, Barbara was rough. So when I got Chi-Chi and I was able to replace Barbara with Chi-Chi, it was such a night and day difference. I was like, holy shit, I can get healed. Her skill cooldown is a little too high. Even now, I think it's way too high. 30 seconds is insanely high for our skill cooldown. Especially considering how kind of gimmicky she is. She's a little too annoying to use. Because it's it's 30 seconds for her skill, and I get it. You're like, oh, well, just give her the sacrificial sword. But the problem with that is that the sacrificial sword just has a chance of reducing the cooldown, but you can only do it so many times. So essentially, yeah, sure, it could reduce the cooldown, it could refresh your cooldown for your skill again, but then you still have to wait 30 seconds for the next one. So it's like, it helps you for an emergency last minute, oh shit, I need to get my cooldown back, but that's pretty much it. So, and then of course it's like, and she's an attack scaling healer, so it's like she could actually have an attack sword instead to boost her base attack to make her stronger, but, so it's, yeah. And then the fact that when she has her talent that when she attacks, she'll put an emblem on the enemy, and if you attack an enemy with that emblem, you get healing back, but it's only to the active character, I think. And so the tough thing with that is that once the emblem comes on, you need to swap to the character that needs healing and have them attack so that they can get healed. But the emblem doesn't last that long. It's only lasts for 6 seconds or something like that. So it's like, and so 1 or 2 seconds of that is going to be wasted realizing the emblem is there. Yeah, 6 seconds. And it will only occur once every 30 seconds. So you waste a second or two of that seeing, oh shit, the symbol's there. Then you have to swap, so you only get 4 seconds of time to attack it. And even then, well, who's going to attack it? Well, the person who needs healing. So they could already be super low health. So you're putting someone who might be dying, who might be have a sliver of health, 1,000 health or something, out into the field, and they have to attack, which means if they get smacked by anything before they're able to get off a single attack, they die. And that's the really rough thing about this, is that you have to put your attacker at risk to get them healed. And the only thing that this okay, cool. Well, while this is active, it'll boost healing and stuff like that. But that's good. This is a good one. It heals a decent amount. It's not terrible. And then this one just applies. This one does heal on burst, so that's good. So it's cool. She does heal on burst a little bit. So you can just do her burst, get some healing out. You put the emblems on them, and then you have to swap to your attacker to attack to get your health back. But at the very least, if you were at a sliver of health, just using the burst would have healed them slightly, so that they have the leeway to get out into the field and attack to get more health back. So that's fine. But it's just just when the random one pops up. If you swap to her for healing, presumably you have some people who need some fucking health. So maybe if you're more proactive and you're oh, my guy's at 50% health, I'll swap to Chi-Chi, try to get the emblem on, and swap back to my attacker. Okay, maybe, It was just kind of, but still, she was just so good for a new player when your only other healer at the time was Barbara, because she no longer would have your character, she would no longer freeze your character, because it was always rough. Because Barbara using her skill to heal would mean that you're now susceptible to any cryo attacks, and that's why fighting in the rain was always rough, because there was always 1 or 2 cryo Hilichurls or a cryo Regisvine or a cryo Abyss Mage that could just freeze you when it's raining, and it's just so annoying to get frozen. I mean, it depends on who you need. So obviously if you have Skirk, Escoffier is going to be the best healer for her, because she does some amazing buffs for freeze teams. So, and she heals, so that's good. So it's a good Skirk, Escoffier, Fiorina team. I like Jean too, still. Fiorina, the existence of Fiorina and her buffs made any person who can do a burst heal much more useful, because Fiorina, when her skill's out and her little buddies are attacking, she drains the health of every party member. But when you swap to her healing mode, she only heals the active character. Now in co-op it's fine, because you'll heal, because all active characters, every person's active characters on the field, so you can actually heal everyone at once. But if you're doing it solo, her heal only heals 1 character, but her attacking skill drains every character's health. So obviously there's a disparity there. So the idea is you have Fiorina lower everyone's health with her skill, do her burst, and then swap to a healer like Jean or Barbara to do their burst, because their burst, and like even Chi-Chi, their burst will heal the entire party, which gives Fiorina a lot of stacks for her burst, which boosts damage and shit. So Jean and Barbara and even Noelle have gotten some play again since Fiorina came out because of the need to heal the entire party to make up for Fiorina's draining. Like Kokomi's a fine healer. Being able to plant her little jellyfish, if you stay around the jellyfish, you can constantly get healed, but she only heals the active character, and you need to do her burst so that you can heal the entire party with her basic attacks. So she has to be on the field while her burst is active and get normal attacks off to heal the entire party, which takes time. So not great for Fiorina, but she's still a decent healer. Like, basically, she's a great Barbara replacement for the most part, because she doesn't wet your party members, and she has pretty decent heals. But, so those are the 5-star healers. And Chi-Chi's like, meh, whatever. Honestly, yeah, like of the 5-star healers, Escoffier is really good for freeze teams. She's okay for other teams too. Like she still does decent cryo application, and she does still heal with a AoE. And of course, for Natlan characters, Jillinan is really good too. And actually, Jillinan is good for not just Natlan characters as well. As long as you're doing any sort of Petch element team, so Pyro, Electro, Cryo, Hydro, her skill reduces resistances for any for the elements of her party members, including Geo, including herself. She's always included, but so like reducing resistances is super useful, and then her burst heals. So definitely a really good healer. So I think Jillian is definitely more of an all-around good healer for everybody, like no matter the team, unless it's a Geo, unless it's a team with a lot of Geo or Animo. So you don't really want to use an Animo with Jillian, unless it's like, you really wouldn't. So yeah, I'm not a healer. I mean, Jean's a very good, just generic healer. I would say, yeah, Jillian's a very good generic healer too. Jean can swirl, which can be useful, which also does, if you give her the Veritas and Venerer set, can also do resistance shred as well. But Jillian is just easier to maintain in resistance reduction, because it's, you just do your skill, basic attack 3 times, boom, you now have a resistance reducing aura around her. Whereas Jean, you need to constantly swirl, which is doable because her skill comes up often enough to swirl frequently enough, but she needs to be on field to do it. So there's a little more management for her. Jillian is super easy to use. The Scruffy is super easy to use, but she definitely is more niche, because most of her kit revolves around providing buffs to Cryo and Hydro units, because she's really intended to boost freeze. But, she still is a healer, and she still does apply Cryo, so you could just throw her in there for a melt team if you want. It's not the end of the world. It's not what she's perfectly designed for, but it's not like she's bad as a healer. And then, Kokomi's a good generic healer. Who else heals? Chi-Chi's okay. Like, she's on the bottom of the barrel of healers, really. For 5-star healers. I think she's probably just the worst 5-star healer. She gets a little more play with Fiorina, because her burst does heal the entire party, but she's still not amazing. Girl, it's fine. Not amazing either. Because she's a catalyst, though, she can be useful in co-op, because she can constantly apply Cryo. But I've had issues using her as a healer in parties. Using her skill to apply Cryo is a pain in the butt to do. And so you need to build her to have enough energy to do her burst at all times. Sayu's fun. Sayu's a fun little swirling healer. I would say she'll probably be pretty useful in co-op, where you can be on the field swirling while all your party members are also doing elemental attacks. So you could be swirling all their attacks. So she's a really good co-op one. Noelle is very good in some situations. I've stacked her for defense and given her the white blind. So when her burst and skill come up, I've seen her attack go higher than her defense. I think I've gotten her attack to like 3,500 or something like that because of all the buffs she gets from her skill and burst being active. And then with skill and burst being active, every hit she does has a 100% chance to heal the entire party. So that's why she actually got a little more play with Furina, because you just, you use Furina's burst. Like when all your Furina will never drain your health below 50%. So you could just wait till all your characters are below 50%, use Furina's burst, swap to Noelle, do her skill and burst, then start attacking. And she can very, very quickly heal up your entire party to max in like a few hits. Maybe not Furina, because she's HP scaling, but Mika is disappointing. He's one of the few characters that can burst attack, buff attack speed. His skill will boost attack speed, but there are just so few characters that can utilize that buff. Like, so the idea was, oh, maybe he's for Eula, because Eula gets more, if she can get more attacks in, her burst hits even stronger. So the idea is you maybe have him with Eula. And if you have a lot of other characters that are like, oh, I do, like, he would be okay with Yoimiya too. So he'd make, because like Yoimiya does her skill to infuse her bow and then does just basic attacks after that. So with him being able to boost basic attack speed, then that would be helpful for her. But generally, he's like, and his burst is just a AoE heal, so works with Furina, but the attack speed boost is not super helpful for a lot of characters. Kuki is actually really good. I really like Kuki. I use Kuki a lot. Because she has it's an AoE electro application that heals the active party member. The important thing is it doesn't heal all party members, so that's her only disadvantage. She doesn't heal everybody, she only heals the active character. So when all characters are low on health, it does make it harder for her to heal everybody. But she has really good electro application. It's an AoE around her that like ticks every second or two. So it's constant electro application. So really good in that sense. Plus plus she has her own little death save too, so because she drains her health every time she does her skill. But she does have a death save in case you're a little too fast and loose and swap her on to use her skill when she already has too low health and gets smacked and dies. But she does have a death save to prevent you from fucking her over. Dory is kind of shit. No one really likes her. Supposedly, she does. I think she heals. And she's one of the few characters that can just flat out provide energy. With her burst, with that tether, I think she gives energy back to the active party member. Like, no one likes her. And then Yao Yao's an interesting healer. She's definitely good for the Nilo teams, the Hyper Blooms, because she does decent Dendro application, kinda, but she's kind of a weird healer. Because that doing her skill is fine, you just tap her skill, she throws out her little doll, and then it'll heat seek either you or the enemy to do Dendro damage or heal. But her burst is so weird because you go into this burst mode, and every time you sprint, jump, dash, stuff like that, you summon a little doll. So the idea is you do her burst and then do a shitload of sprints and jumps and shit to get as many dolls on the field as possible. But the mode doesn't last that long, and the dolls don't last that long, so it's kind of it's really interesting, but kind of weird. And Barbara's classic. Her burst is really good. Her burst heal is really good. But the fact that she wets herself with her skill, and wets the active character with her skill, makes it tough. Because if you're fighting an enemy if you're fighting a cryo enemy, you're pretty much fucked, because you're going to be constantly frozen. And even for other enemies, it's like, if they do pyro, then it's going to make it easier to do more damage to you, because you're going to vaporize off of you. So, Xingqiu is actually not much of a healer, but he's actually really good anyway, because he has really good Hydra application. And his swords do damage reduction and heal when they pop. So either you take damage and they do some damage reduction and heal you a little bit for the one sword that pops when the damage comes in. Or if you didn't take any hits, all swords just dissipate at the end of their duration and heal you. So he does heal a little bit, and his burst is really good Hydra application. And that's all the healers, I think. I got all the ones that can heal. Yep, that's it. So, obviously, yeah, if you spend money, you're gonna have an easier time because you can get all the good healers, like the Jilliman. I mean, I would say if you're gonna get a 5-star healer, I would get Jilliman because she's just as more useful in more teams. Escoffier is really good, but again, as I said, she's designed for freeze teams. So if you don't have a lot of freeze, if you don't have enough people to do a freeze team, then you won't maximize her benefit. Which, I mean, she's still fine as a healer, but you know, yeah, there are a lot of characters. They've been introducing them a lot over a lot of time. I mean, honestly, it's only like maybe like 1 or 2 healers. Actually, yeah, it's like 1 or 2 healers a patch, or one or two healers a country. It's like for Fontaine, they have Escoffier and Charlotte. For Natlan, it's Jilliman. For Inazuma, it's Kokomi, Kuki, and Sayu. For Leeway, it's Chi-Chi. Monset has Noelle and Jean and Barbara. So, they don't introduce that many. You don't need, like, that many healers. And generally, like, you can use whatever healer you want. For the most part. Like, you'll eventually get a bunch of the 4 stars at some point. So you can just pick the one that matches your party comp better. Obviously, for, like, Kuki, she has really good electro application, but if you're not going to be... So she's really good in electro-charged teams. And kind of okay for other ones. Oh, yeah, I guess technically Chevreuse heals, too, for skill. So, yeah, there's a lot of variety with the game. And, like... And that's kind of why I like it a little better than Wuthering Waves. Because, like, for this game, it's like... There's never really, like... a character that absolutely has to have other characters. Now, you could argue, yeah, with Escoffier buffing freeze teams such a drastic degree, if you buy Skirk. If you get Skirk without Escoffier is going to be handicapped because of how powerful Escoffier makes freeze teams. Sure, you could argue that. But like Wuthering Waves, it's like every character is like that. You know, every character is like, oh yeah, this character needs this other limited character to do well. Oh, this character? Yeah. Well, if you don't get their signature weapon, it's a 45% damage reduction. Like you do 45% less damage if you don't have their signature weapon. It's like Wuthering Waves is really terrible at that shit. Where it's just like, oh yeah, the damage they do with their own weapon or the damage they do with a specific other limited character is so much greater than a free-to-play account could do that it's just like, wow, that really sucks. And when they don't release as many characters and so it's like, and then they introduce new effects where they're like, oh hey, we have air erosion and spectrofrazzle. We just invented these things and now made a character that revolves around it. And it's just like, oh my god, like, so this didn't even exist, and now you have a character that revolves around it, and another character that now needs the first character you just introduced to maximize their damage. It's like, jeez. So, yeah, I definitely don't trust Wuthering Waves over this, but Genshin has a lot more freedom, where it's like, yeah, these are, like, here's some good options, but you can still do, like, 4-star characters. Like, there are still people who do Spiral Abyss with 4 stars and still do it. Now, they probably have, like, max Constellation 4 stars, and they've been playing the game forever, so they know how to play every single one, have all their artifacts built. But still, the fact that it's possible means that if you don't want to spend any money and still want to clear Spiral Abyss, it definitely is possible. Which, I can't really say the same for Wuthering Waves. I mean, maybe you can do their version of Spiral Abyss well enough. There definitely is more skill expression in Wuthering Waves, so as long as you're really good at dodging, then you might be able to do it with low-level characters, or weaker teams. But it's probably not like that likely, simply because all the biggest challenges are timed. So it's like if you don't have a good team, and if you're not able to output enough damage, you'll still lose. And that's what kind of sucks about that. But it's what you're probably seeing. You're probably seeing people who've been playing the game since its inception. So you're seeing people who have done enough artifact farming. So one, all the 4 stars are max constellations, so 6 constellations, which really does help. And then 2, because they've been artifact farming so much, what they probably do is that when they go into a... So for me, like I have 1 artifact set per character. I equip the best artifact set I can for a character, and then I'm like, cool, that's good enough, right? But the people who are aiming for 36 stars with 4 stars are probably taking artifacts from other characters to make their 4-star characters the best. So they're like, oh, I want this artifact. I need this artifact. Like, I'm going to have these 4 characters. I'm going to give them this artifact set. And I'm going to pillage all characters to find the best version of it. So that each character has the best version of that artifact set. And then they go into the Spiral Abyss. That's my bet. That's my bet. I bet they do that. And so, it's hard to tell. Because like there are certain thresholds you really kind of want. Like, you want to have a certain amount of energy regen. So there are the people who like know life the game and are sweat lords about it are the ones who like know exactly, okay, well I'm gonna go in with 200% energy recharge, because the idea is what you do is you go in, I think you go in with full energy, and so the idea is that you're doing skill and burst for every single character, then end with your main character, your main attacker, do their skill, then burst, and then basically by the time their burst window is done, you swap back to the first character that you started with, and if you've built their energy regen right, their burst is back up. So they can do their skill and burst right away. And so that's the whole thing, is that you're just kind of, you're able to get a rotation like that, where it's like, yeah, you start with player 1, skill burst, then player 2, skill burst, player 3, skill burst, player 4, skill burst, and do all your DPS damage. Then swap back to player 1, their skill is off cooldown, their burst is fully charged, and you just repeat. Like, that's how you kind of do it. Like, you need to know like the thresholds. You need to know how much energy regen each character needs so that they have their burst up by the time you swap back to them. And that's tough. You either have to look up guides or you have to just experiment a lot. And so there are the people who are doing this either know the guides, know the calculations, or have already built characters like that, or maybe just overcap their energy regen so they have more than they need, but they don't fine tune it. Stuff like that. It's hard to tell. It's a lot of these things you just don't really notice. Oh, okay. But yeah, that's how they do it. And then, of course, like they've also been probably playing the game for a long time, so they've been doing this multiple times. They know how to use each character very well, and know how to do the iframes for dodging, so you don't get hit. I mean, at the end of the day, it's practice makes perfect. If you just keep practicing, you'll eventually get better at playing the character. But yeah, you could do a quick test too. You could like bring in your 4 stars, go through a round and see, hey, do I have all my, like, I've gotten back to my first character. Is their burst up? No? Okay, well then they need more energy recharge. Or you need more characters with Favonius weapons, so that when they crit, and you want to make sure that they do crit, that they provide extra energy particles for the entire team. Stuff like that. So it's either like maybe mix in a few more Favonius weapons, maybe swap around artifacts so they have more higher energy regen substats, stuff like that. It's pretty nuanced. But that's only if you're like trying to do it with only 4 stars, and like the people who are trying to do that usually do that intentionally as a challenge, to be like, yeah, I have other characters, but I'm doing this so that I can challenge myself. Because even free-to-play players should have a few 5 stars. Because you do get enough primo gems from exploring, that you should be able to pull on a few banners, plus the beginner banner. But anyway, I'm tired. I've been walking for almost an hour and a half, an hour and 28 minutes. So I'm going to put a pin in this, take a break. I managed to do my Imaginarium Theater, which I'm very pleased at. I was worried because at the second boss I was getting screwed trying to use Wriothesley. I tried using Wriothesley. It was, you need to do freeze attacks. You need to freeze them to stun them. And I tried using Wriothesley, Yolan, Zhangling, and Barba, and even swapped in Kokomi as well. And I could freeze them, but I don't know what was causing it. Like, I don't know why it was... Like, it seemed like I needed to shatter them, and maybe that was the whole thing, is I wasn't shattering it. I was freezing them but not shattering, and because Wriothesley doesn't shatter, or maybe I need to do a charge attack for it to shatter, and I wasn't doing it or something. I don't know. I don't have Wriothesley, so I don't know his perfect playstyle as well, so I don't know when to do his skill or... I know that if you do a charge attack, that's how he gets health back. So you know, normal attacks lose health, and then you do a charge attack to get health back. I know that, but I just don't know the pattern. So basically, I tried a few times with that Wriothesley team, kept getting fucked, and I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm going to ignore the mechanics. I'm going to do Milani, Mavika, Sitlali, and I think Kokomi. And I was able to just DPS it down. Although it was pretty close. I almost lost. Actually, no, I think that was the last hit. I think I used Milani against the Fire Kukusor as well, the elite boss. And I think I like chunked the boss at the end. I did a hit that did like 800,000 damage, which is pretty good for me. Mostly because I don't ever notice it. Like I don't pay attention to my attack, like damage and stuff like that. So the fact that Imaginarium Theater was able to capture it, it's like, oh, cool, that's nice. Because yeah, like it was getting close to running out of time, and then all of a sudden, like the last 5% or 10% of its health just disappeared, and I went to the windscreen. I'm like, oh, nice. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and call it. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.